Lesson 3, Rocking Your Socks with Circular and U-Shaped Knitting. The first part of this video, we will be knitting circular with a KR260. Good morning and welcome to another edition of CJ's Knits, where we are knitting with a ribber on the KH260. So we are using the KR260. Today we are doing circular knitting and U-shaped knitting. And our needle arrangement is half pitch on 3. So we're in half pitch. Full needle arrangement, and then we'll get going. Okay, I want my carriage on the other side. I'm going to only do a small portion today, so 10 by 10. And on the inside, 9 by 10. So we're one short on the ribber. I just want to make sure that all my needles are back. I'm loading up my yarn. Making sure it's clipped. Set to star 0. Loaded in the carriage. Double check. Oh, okay, there's a slight change. Instead of star, we're going to 0 on our ribber. Okay, we're all arranged. Yarn is in. All right. So one of the changes that we have here is instead of using our main yarn, we need to use the cast on thread. So I'm going to unthread this, put it in the holder, and I'm going to find some cast on thread, even though I never use it. Okay, so this is my cast on thread. I'm going to very carefully put it between the beds, clip it, okay, disconnected, put it in my carriage, and now I'm going to knit across with the cast on thread. Going all the way past. Picking up my cast on thread. Okay, what does it say to do? Now it says that we put on our cast on comb. Okay. Coming up. Okay, got that part. Page 41. Are we through? Yeah, we are. We're good. Hang the weights. So it says we need a lot of weight. So let's put 3 small weights this time. So 1, 2, 3. Because we've only got 20 stitches here. So 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3. What are we supposed to do with our yarn? Okay, so we are supposed to tease our yarn between the beds and drop it. Just like that. Now, just to keep it steady, I'm going to clip it together. Piece of cake. Now it says that we need to part just like we regularly do, and it wants us to use tension 7, 7. 7 and 7 is a little high, so I'm going to use 5 and 5. Okay, I'm going to move closer to my work. I'm going to grab my favorite yarn, drop it between the beds, it's all loaded, clipped, wrapped, row count to 0, 0, and now continue knitting. One of the things about knitting circular is that you need to count 2 rows equals 1 round. So instead of only knitting 20 rows, I will knit 40 for 20 rounds. I hope that makes sense. Here we go. So it knits on the top first, then the bottom. This is the method of knitting one does when knitting circular socks. And there we go. That is 20 rounds or 40 rows. I am not taking this off just yet. We are going to look at U-shaped knitting. All right, so now we will do U-shaped knitting. For U-shaped knitting, the only difference is every second row we change who's in part and who's in normal knitting. So we'll reset our row counter. And now we will knit 2 rows. So 1 round. 1, 2. Now what we do, I'm going to move my camera just a little bit, is now we will reverse. So this one's in part, that one's normal, that one's in part. Knit again. So now we are knitting back. Reverse, 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 knit, back. Reverse, 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 knit. What instance would you do this? If you are making a panel that is your entire bed on top and your entire bed on the bottom. Is it easy to screw this up? Absolutely. Remember, that's 40. So now we will take this off and we'll take a look. Okay. Now remember to remove your weights. Remove your clips. Put this in knitting. Pull it down nicely. Okay, let's take a look at what we got. So we have here the U-shaped knitting, so we made a perfect U, and then we have a pocket which is opened when we pull, which was the short one here, when we pull the long one. So let's give it a pull and we'll release it. I see. Okay, so we're going to very carefully unthread it. So I am not cutting my yarn here. This. Okay, that took a while. So here we have the perfect tube. Uses for that perfect tube, like I said, socks, but don't forget about a hat. Knitting a hat in circular means you don't have any seams, other than, of course, the crown. So there's that one. That's another day in the books. Now for tomorrow we're going to do the English rib and the half fisherman's rib, full fisherman's rib, how to knit a racked half fisherman's rib, and then we'll go on to the next day. So come back tomorrow when we do English rib. Lesson 4, Fisherman's Rib.